Hey everyone, this is Hayden with the Sitka Gear customer service team. We're here in Bozeman, Montana today at the depot. We're going to be covering some at-home wader repair, determining what you can repair in the field versus at home, what needs to be sent into our repair facility for professional repair. We have about 1.5 inch, 2 inch long tear. This is a great example of something that you can repair at home. Small tears, cuts, puncture in the boot, or neoprene, that's something you can repair at home and bring these waders back to fully waterproof. Something that you may want to get sent in for professional repair is a large cut or tear, 4 or 5 inches long, maybe leaking along a seam of the wader where you're not quite sure where the water is coming in. So to get started repairing your waders at home, you can use the wader repair kit. This ships in the box with your waders when you purchase them new. Inside of this repair kit is a 3 inch by 5 inch patch. We will want the patch to cover about 1/2 inch around the tear or pinhole. So kind of the maximum length that you can repair at home would be a 4 inch cut. If you have multiple pinholes, or small cuts, we can cut this patch into smaller sections, so you can repair quite a few pinholes or cuts with this one patch. Also in the kit are some alcohol pads. We'll want to clean the area that we're repairing, making sure to remove any dirt or grime that could cause problems with the patch sticking. There is also a canister of zipper lubricant. This is more so for storage, keeping that zipper running smooth throughout the season or before you put them away for the season. And we'll also have Aquaseal. So the patch is applied on the inside of the waders. So after you have identified the leak, in this case our 1.5 inch long tear, we can flip the waders inside out. There are also instructions on the inside of the patch kit, so you can follow along with those as well. We have identified our leak here. The first step is going to be to clean it with this included alcohol pad. Make sure the area is nice and clean, get as good of a stick as we can here with the patch. As I mentioned before, we do want the patch to overhang the cut by about 1/2 inch on all sides. So this is about 1.5 inch tear. We can take out, I would say, 1.5 inch wide by 2.5 inches long should cover this tear well. This alcohol that we rubbed on here will dry pretty quickly. We do want that to be pretty well dry before we apply this patch. You do want something on the back side of the patch as well, just to make sure that the material is laying flat before we apply the patch. In a pinch, you can use the instruction book. We'll just slide that in there, give a nice backing to the tear. Make sure it's nice and flat, make sure that material is joining together as best as possible. And then we will just stick the patch over it, starting from the inside and working out to try to reduce any air bubbles. And then we do need to apply heat for about 30 seconds. So we are gonna rub this patch. Try not to peel up the ends as you're doing it. All right, so we've been rubbing on this patch for about 30 seconds to a minute. In the field, this will work. This will get you back to waterproof, let you finish out that day. If you notice the tear after you're done for the day and you're already back home, or if we want to beef up this patch, we can take some additional steps here at home. Now that we're back home, I'm going to reinforce this field repair, take a couple extra steps to make sure that this repair lasts us the rest of the season. Just like when doing the field repair and patching from the inside, the first step is to clean the wader. So here we have another alcohol cleaning pad. Going to wipe down the exterior of the wader. All right, now that we have that wader cleaned up, go ahead and let that alcohol dry for a minute or so, and then we'll work through applying the Aquaseal. So this is a permanent solution. This is not something that our repair facility can take off of the wader. What we're gonna do is just apply a dab or two across this tear. All right, so a few dabs of Aquaseal is really all that we need on this wader or on this cut. If it is a longer cut, three or so inches, you will want to use a little bit more, kind of bead it along the cut, or you can just place a couple of drops throughout, and then we'll spread it around from there. You do want a little bit of overlap over the tear just to make sure it seals everything up. But as I mentioned before, don't go too crazy. This is a permanent solution. So here I'm just using a paper towel, gonna kind of spread this around here. All right, so now that we have the Aquaseal applied, we've spread that around evenly, follows the tear pretty nicely. We do want to let that cure, preferably for at least 12 hours. 24 hours would be best. I typically will leave the waders laid out like this just to air dry, or if you've kind of patched in a variety of locations on the wader, you can hang them up by the boots. Let that Aquaseal really set in place for 24 hours. So Aquaseal can be used to fix a variety of things that could go wrong with a pair of waders. It can not only reinforce tears and cuts like what we've just done, it can also fix small seam failures. As we mentioned in the beginning of the video, if it's a water coming in the seam that you don't really know where it is, maybe have those sent in. But if you can identify where the water is coming through on the seam, you can apply a small bead of Aquaseal on the inside and outside of the wader to help reinforce that seam. Aquaseal also works great for any punctures on boots or neoprene. So you happen to drive a sharp stick through your rubber boots, you have a small puncture there, water coming in, just apply a maybe a little more generous dab of Aquaseal on the rubber of the boot, spread it over the puncture, let the Aquaseal cure. We do recommend sticking with Aquaseal for wader repairs. I would avoid using any sort of rubber sealant, duct tape, anything that is not meant to waterproof waders. As a reminder, Aquaseal is a permanent solution. You'll want to be careful to use just enough to fix the cut or tear like we did here today. You know, a little bit of overlap just to make sure it is waterproof, but we did remove any excess. Another common way for a wader to leak is through pinholes. You know, you're going through really heavy brush over time. It can start to create pinholes in the wader fabric. Unlike a tear or cut, they're not as easily identifiable. You know, we don't have an 1.5 inch long tear. We just know that water is getting into the waders somewhere. So to help you identify pinhole leaks, we can take a rag of some sort and soak it with rubbing alcohol, or if you have a spray bottle, that works as well. And we're going to apply this rubbing alcohol to the inside of the wader. So I have a general idea here of where I have a pinhole leak. I had some water coming through the last time I was out. We're going to take this and just soak a general area here. The pinholes are going to turn a darker color. All right, now that we have found the pinholes, we'll want to let that alcohol dry for just a minute or so, and then we can use a dab of Aquaseal to bring these back to waterproof. And remove some of that excess. Just like the tear that we repaired earlier, we'll want to let this Aquaseal cure for at least 12 hours, preferably 24, to give it the strongest bond. I hope this video helped you perform a repair at home. Keep your waders 100% waterproof throughout the season. As always, if you have a large tear or a leak that you can identify, feel free to fill out a warranty claim on our website, sitkagear.com. We will cover shipping both ways for you, get those waders sent in and fixed up for you.